Hello. This does sort of work, this setup. This does sort of work, this setup, doesn't it? Have I told you? I feel like I've told you plenty of times, but then again, I feel like I haven't told you at all. I'm currently living at my mum's house. This is her spare bedroom that I have taken ownership of. All of my stuff, do you want to see? It's a bit of a mess, but like all of my stuff is sort of just everywhere on a rail in suitcases. And my stuff is here, there and everywhere. I'm just in between getting back into my apartment in Devon. So yeah, anyway, it was 11:11 today and I clocked it on the clock, which made me very happy. Anyway, today's video is a requested video and it's around how do you know whether you're eating enough? Now, quick disclaimer, I'm not a dietitian. What's going on here then? I'm not a dietitian or, you know, and I'm not a doctor, but as a personal trainer and someone that has been through HA, I very much know when you're not eating enough. Now, it would have been a lot easier, and when planning this video, I was literally like, why don't I just do a video of signs that you're not eating enough? But I feel like that's quite a given, and I can still do a video like that if you want me to, but I actually think there's one already on my channel, but I don't know. Anyway, but I thought I would actually do a video on how do you know when you are, because I just spat, sorry. When you're in HA recovery, and like obviously there's one element which is like tracking your calories and stuff, which I don't want to focus on that part of the side of the recovery, because that is one option, I guess, if it works for you anyway. What I want us to focus on is, like, you know, a big part of HA recovery is making sure we are eating enough. And so many people ask me, like, how on earth do we even know if we're eating enough? So I did make some notes, and because I was planning it all yesterday, and I sort of broke it down into a few things. So like the first thing is actually your hunger like cues, I guess. Now in HA recovery, when you have HA and sort of like eating disorders and stuff like that, you probably find that your hunger signals are actually really down regulated. Like a lot of the time, like people find that they're not hungry and stuff like that, and I was very much the same. Like I never really got hungry in HA, and that is literally just our hormone profiles, because everything's sort of like down regulated. So when you know that you're eating enough, initially in recovery, you'll probably find this like huge spike of hunger. Now, there is a part of that is going to be that your appetite has increased and your hunger hormones have like kicked back in, so your body, you're noticing the hunger more. But also you'll probably feel as if you're hungry all the time, just because it's different to what it was when you had like before you started recovery. So like a lot of the time people are like, oh my god, I'm eating so much more, and it like I'm eating so much food, and it's like you're not really, in the grand scheme of things. You're just eating more food compared to what you were eating before you went into recovery, so it makes you feel as if you're eating enough. Eating a lot, sorry. So when you know whether you're eating enough, you'll probably find that after you've had that initial like spike, you'll probably find when it comes to your hunger, it's not as dramatic. It's not as like, whoa, shit, I'm really hungry, and like every time it gets to snack time you're like really ravenous. You'll probably find that your hunger sort of stabilizes. So you'll probably find that, you know, you're hungry at sort of very normal times, and that it's not so like rapidly starving. Then there's other things when it comes to like hunger as well, of like if at snack time you're ready for a snack but you're not like ravenous, like that's a sign that actually at breakfast or at lunch or whatever it is when you're having a snack, is that actually you are probably eating enough. What I found in recovery is if I wasn't eating enough, and even today actually, if I'm not eating enough, by the time the snack time comes I'm like absolutely starving, or even by the time the next meal comes I am absolutely starving. So I feel like a good sign is that at snack time you're ready for a snack, or at lunchtime you're like I'm ready for lunch, rather than like, whoa. Another key thing is that your mental hunger is reduced. So I found that as soon as I started to eat enough, give it a couple of weeks like, of getting used to eating enough, and that sort of like extreme hunger sort of like regulates a little bit. I found that actually I don't think about food that much, because I know that the next meal's coming, or I know that the next snack's coming, and food doesn't take up a lot of my brain space anymore. So what I found before is actually I was like searching out like 10,000 calorie challenges, or I was like eat breakfast, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for lunch, or I can't wait for snack. Whereas actually I found that now I'm eating enough, I don't really think about food that much. And then a final thing on hunger is you actually feel satisfied after your meal. I found when I wasn't eating enough, I would eat a meal, and like I said, that I would then be like so excited for lunch, or I'd be like, oh God, I'm still hungry, or I'd have like something to sort of like get rid of the hunger, whether that's like a coffee or a Diet Coke or something like that. Whereas now, if you're eating enough, you will feel satisfied after your meal, and you'll just be like, I mean, I still like something sweet after dinner, but like that's not because I'm hungry, that's just a habit, and that's because it's what I enjoy. Then another key thing to tell from whether you're eating enough is looking at your lifestyle. Do you restrict any food? Do you have like rules around food? Do you set timings on food and stuff like that? Those are all sorts of things that you can find influence whether you're eating enough or not. I found that the more I sort of like remove stuff from my diet and more restricted, the more likely I was to eat less. So even though that's not a sign that you're eating enough in terms of like recovery or like eating enough like energy in the body, I did find that actually like the more I just relaxed around food and just sort of like went with it, that's when I sort of knew that I was sort of eating enough, because like food just didn't really take up much of my life. And on that as well is just making sure that you are eating, if at every single meal you know that you're eating a really good balance of like protein, fats and carbs, and then the same with snacks, then I'd sort of say like if you are eating a balance with sort of no rules and you're eating regularly and you're eating consistently and you're feeling good, then you're probably doing all right. And then there's other things. So I found that there was obviously all of these like lifestyle things and like mindset things and stuff like that. But other key things that I could sort of just rally off these points, if I'm honest, is your energy. Like, are you feeling good? Check in. Like, what's your mood like? Are you motivated to wake up in the morning? Are you feeling good? Like, do you have good energy? Do you want to see friends? Do you feel sociable? All those sorts of things will play a role into and could be a key sign whether you're eating enough or not. If you're not, you might be under eating. There obviously might be other things going on, but I'm just talking in terms of like food. So I always notice if I'm eating really well, which I am at the moment, I do think living back with my mum when she cooks my meals, it really helps. We also so yeah, if I'm feeling really sociable, my energy's good, and I'm feeling like motivated with work and stuff like that, then I probably know that actually that side of things is actually pretty good. Obviously, like I said, other factors will play a role in that. I also look at my nails. Are my nails growing and are they strong? Same with my hair. Same with my skin. I notice that my skin gets a lot drier if I'm not eating enough. I still suffer from like a few like hormonal breakouts and stuff, especially, and like my skin goes a little bit like bumpy and stuff, especially now I'm back training. But you know, that's nothing to do with my food. So yeah, I look at sort of like my nails. And then another thing is looking at my digestion. I found in recovery my digestion was really down-regulated. I suffered really bad from constipation, and then as I started to eat more and obviously keeping like a good balance around food, I noticed actually my digestion improved a lot. Other things is like your sex drive and your libido, making sure that like that's pretty good. If you find that 1 minute you're really into it and then sort of like a couple of months later actually you just don't think about it ever, that could be a sign that you're not eating enough. Sleep problems, if you're struggling to get to sleep at night, that's a big thing for me. If I know that I've trained maybe quite hard and then I haven't maybe fueled enough, or I've been like a little bit stressed, I'll really struggle to sort of switch my mind off and get to sleep at night. That's a big thing for me. 9 times out of 10, if that happens, I get up and go downstairs and have a massive bowl of porridge to help me get back to sleep. But yeah, sort of sleep problems or waking up in the night and weeing. Actually on that as well, like I'm just rattling off signs that you're not eating enough. Sorry. So good sleep, I guess. You're not thirsty all the time. Thirst is often a key sign that you're not eating enough. Yeah, you're feeling motivated. You're feeling good to wake up in the morning. You're actually warm. That's another key. A key sign of you under eating is that you're cold. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else there is, but then obviously I think like a big thing for me is check in with yourself. Become self-aware. Become so used to checking in with your body and checking in with yourself that you start to become aware of little tiny signs that you might not be recovering or you might not be eating enough and stuff like that. So I like other things that I notice is like if I start getting floaters in my eye, that's probably because I'm a little bit stressed or maybe I haven't fueled enough. So it's like constantly checking in. But overall, if you're not really thinking about food, your body, like your nails and your skin and your hair are all good, you're feeling good, you're motivated, you don't have brain fog, you're feeling like sociable, you're not consumed by when your next meal is, and you're eating a really good balanced variety of plate, then you probably are eating enough. If you're recovering really well from sort of if you are doing any exercise, if you're recovering really well, and you're just sort of feeling like pretty good. I think we're so consumed often by like diet culture of like telling us to eat less and move more and stuff, but there's actually so much power in just making sure you're eating enough and drinking enough water. Put those sorts of two together and getting good sleep and like you're sort of winning. So I think if you're feeling really good as a whole, then go for it. If you're feeling really good as a whole, then you probably are doing all right. I personally follow and like check in with myself and sort of like how I keep things very, very similar. So I know that in order for me to eat enough is I eat 3 big meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then I'll have snacks in between and a dessert. And if I've trained, then obviously those meals have to be bigger and those snacks need to be bigger. I'm not saying like every day is not perfect. Like yesterday, for example, I definitely underate for the training that I did, and I really noticed it, but life just got ahead of me. It's not an excuse, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I don't take any food rules out and I'm just eating consistently. And then if at any point I feel like I'm not recovering well or I'm feeling a bit tired or, you know, my digestion goes or my sleep goes or anything like that, I know that's probably a sign that I'm not eating enough and I'm not recovering well enough. So then that's a key sign to like make sure that I'm increasing my carbohydrates and my fats and my proteins, to be fair, and also probably increasing the amount of food that I'm eating. I think it's really important that we do eat enough, because especially in HA recovery, if we're in a deficit or we're restricting food groups, especially like carbohydrates and things like that, it's going to add stress to the body. And to recover from HA, we need to reduce the stress in the body. So yeah, create a consistent routine for yourself with food. And then if you, and also like good enough big meals that don't restrict that. And then if you sort of get any signs where, you know, you're not quite working at optimum or you start to feel a little bit low, maybe just try increasing it a little bit more. But I'm going to stop talking because I've blabbered and I've got to edit this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and considering subscribing to my channel. If you don't already, come follow me on Instagram because I talk loads more shit on there. Love you, bye.